Did you know that, besides Bigfoot, which is famous in North America, there are reports of similar creatures in various parts of the world, such as the Yeti in the Himalayas, the Yeren in China, the Almasty in Russia, and even the Mapinguari in the Amazon? Moreover, many of these legends describe these beings not only as physical creatures but also as spiritual entities or guardians of nature. Could all these cultures be describing the same mysterious being, or is there a psychological or cultural explanation for this global phenomenon? Intriguing, isn't it? Stick with me, that's just the beginning. Hello curious minds and welcome to my channel. Here, we explore the most intriguing facts, the most bizarre stories, and the most surprising curiosities in the world. I'm Jack, and together, we'll dive into a universe of knowledge and question, is this real or fake? Today's topic is one of the greatest mysteries of cryptozoology, Bigfoot. Does this legendary creature, also known as Sasquatch, really exist, or is it just a modern myth, an urban legend that refuses to die? Get ready to have your minds blown as we analyze the new evidence, the historical accounts, the scientific theories, and the controversies surrounding this enigma. Let's start with the basics. What is Bigfoot? According to most accounts, Bigfoot is described as a large, hairy, humanoid creature, typically between 6 and 9 feet tall, covered in dark hair ranging from reddish-brown to black. It is bipedal, walking upright like a human, but with a slightly stooped posture. Its arms are described as being longer than those of a human, and its hands and feet are disproportionately large, which gave rise to the name Bigfoot. The head is often described as conical or rounded, with a low-set forehead and a prominent brow ridge similar to that of a gorilla. The eyes are generally described as dark and deep-set. Bigfoot supposedly inhabits remote forests, mainly in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States and Canada, an area known for its vast coniferous forests and rugged terrain. Reports of Bigfoot, however, date back centuries, with legends and stories among the indigenous peoples of North America, long before European colonization. The name Sasquatch comes from the word Saskits, from the Halkomelem language spoken by some indigenous tribes of British Columbia, such as the Salish. This word, which means wild man or hairy man, reflects the indigenous belief in the existence of beings similar to Bigfoot. The term Bigfoot became popular in the 1950s, after a bulldozer operator named Jerry Crew made casts of huge footprints, about 16 inches long and 8 inches wide, found in Bluff Creek, California. The news of these giant footprints spread rapidly, generating a media frenzy and cementing the name Bigfoot in popular culture. But were these footprints real, or an elaborate hoax by Crew and his colleagues, as some suggest? But why do so many people believe in the existence of Bigfoot? One of the main reasons is the numerous eyewitness accounts. Over the years, thousands of people, from different backgrounds and professions, claim to have seen the creature. These accounts are often consistent in their descriptions, even though the witnesses do not know each other and are separated by great distances. Many describe a bipedal being, between 6 and 9 feet tall, covered in dark hair, with long arms and a conical head, sometimes with a strong, unpleasant odor. Some accounts mention eyes that glow in the dark, a common characteristic in nocturnal animals. In addition to sightings, there are also encounters with alleged physical evidence, such as footprints, hair, feces, and even structures resembling nests, which are said to be built by the creature. These structures, usually made of intertwined branches and leaves, are interpreted by some as temporary shelters or resting places for Bigfoot. One of the most famous and controversial pieces of evidence that supposedly proves the existence of Bigfoot is the Patterson-Gimlin film, recorded on October 20, 1967, by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, in Bluff Creek, California. This film, about 1 minute long, shows a hairy creature walking upright in a clearing, then looking at the camera before disappearing into the forest. The film has become an icon of cryptozoology, and has been analyzed exhaustively by enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Proponents of the film argue that the creature, nicknamed Patty, exhibits movements and body proportions that would be impossible to replicate by a human wearing a costume. They point to the fluidity of the movements, the apparent musculature under the hair, and the peculiar way of walking. Could this be the definitive proof we've been waiting for, or a well-executed hoax, as many claim? Another point that fuels the Bigfoot mystery is the footprints. Analyzing casts and photos of footprints attributed to Bigfoot, some researchers, such as the late Dr. Grover Krantz, an anthropologist at Washington State University, argued that the anatomy of the feet, the weight distribution, and the biomechanics of the stride are consistent with those of a large, bipedal primate. Krantz, who dedicated much of his career to the study of Bigfoot, believed that the footprints showed evidence of flexibility in the midfoot, which would be expected in an animal adapted to walking on uneven terrain. Furthermore, some footprints showed dermal details, such as fingerprints, which would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to forge with the knowledge and technology available at the time they were found. These details, according to Krantz and other researchers, suggest that the footprints are genuine. However, as one might expect, there is a lot of skepticism regarding the existence of Bigfoot. Many scientists, like Dr. David J. Degeling, an anthropologist at the University of Florida and author of the book Bigfoot Exposed, argue that the lack of conclusive physical evidence, such as a body, bones, teeth, or a living specimen, is a strong indication that the creature is nothing more than a myth, a modern legend that is perpetuated through anecdotal accounts, misidentifications, and hoaxes. Furthermore, the quality of many of the photos and videos is poor, with blurred, distant, or out-of-focus images, making objective analysis difficult and leaving room for hoaxes and misinterpretations. The Patterson-Gimlin film itself, for example, has been the subject of heated debate for decades. Some special effects experts, such as renowned Hollywood makeup artist John Chambers, famous for his work on Planet of the Apes, argued that the creature in the film is actually a person wearing a very well-made gorilla suit. The late Bob Hieronymus even publicly claimed that he was the man inside the suit in the Patterson-Gimlin film, although his claim is disputed by some, who point out inconsistencies in his account and lack of detailed knowledge about the film's production. Another skeptical argument often raised is the issue of a viable population. For a species to survive in the long term, a minimum number of individuals is needed to maintain genetic diversity and avoid extinction due to disease, inbreeding, or catastrophic events. According to biologists, a primate population the size of Bigfoot would require hundreds, or even thousands, of individuals to be viable. How is it possible that such a large population of creatures of this size, supposedly living in areas relatively close to civilization, remains hidden, without any body, complete skeleton, or undeniable genetic evidence ever being found? Moreover, many critics point to the fact that most sightings occur in regions where human presence is frequent, which would increase the likelihood of encounters and the discovery of concrete evidence if the creature really existed. Despite the skepticism from much of the scientific community, new evidence continues to emerge, keeping the mystery alive and fueling the debate about the possible existence of Bigfoot. In 2014, Dr. Melba Ketchum, a Texas-based veterinary geneticist, published a controversial study in the De Novo Scientific Journal, in which she and her team claimed to have sequenced the DNA of more than 100 samples of alleged Bigfoot hair, blood, saliva, and other biological materials. According to the study, which cost about $500,000 and took 5 years to complete, the mitochondrial DNA of the samples is human, but the nuclear DNA presents a mixture of human sequences and those of an unknown primate, which Ketchum and her collaborators hypothesized to be a hybrid between humans and an unidentified hominid species. The research was widely criticized by the scientific community due to methodological issues, such as the lack of proper controls to prevent contamination, the questionable interpretation of the results, and the fact that De Novo does not have a rigorous peer review process. Many scientists consider Ketchum's study to be pseudoscience. Nonetheless, it reignited the debate about the possible existence of Bigfoot and generated a great deal of public interest. Furthermore, in recent years, there has been an increase in the use of technologies such as automatic trail cameras, drones equipped with infrared cameras, and image analysis software to try to capture clearer and more convincing images of the creature. Some researchers, such as Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University, one of the few renowned academics to seriously dedicate himself to the study of Bigfoot, believe that these new technologies may finally provide the definitive proof they are looking for. Meldrum, an expert in primate locomotion and foot anatomy, argues that the biomechanics of some footprints, the way the foot flexes, and the manner in which the creature in the Patterson-Gimlin film moves, with a peculiar gait and long arms, suggest that it is not a human wearing a costume, but rather a real creature, adapted to a forest environment and a mode of locomotion different from ours. Another intriguing aspect that deserves to be considered is the connection between Bigfoot and the indigenous cultures of North America. Many Native American tribes, especially in the Pacific Northwest region, have ancient legends about creatures similar to Bigfoot, which are seen not only as physical beings but also as spiritual entities, guardians of the forest, or messengers between the human world and the spirit world. Some of these cultures consider it disrespectful and dangerous to hunt, pursue, or even talk openly about these creatures, believing that doing so can bring bad luck or offend the beings. For them, Bigfoot is not just a legend or a myth, but an important part of their history, their cosmology, and their sacred relationship with nature. These stories and beliefs, which vary from tribe to tribe, add a layer of depth and complexity to the mystery of Bigfoot, suggesting a long history of coexistence, or at least of mutual awareness and respect, between humans and these enigmatic creatures. Could these indigenous legends be based on real encounters with an unknown primate species that has shared the same habitat with humans for centuries, or millennia? Furthermore, it is important to note that North America was once home to giant primates in the past, such as Gigantopithecus blacki, which is known from fossils found mainly in Southeast Asia but also in caves in North America. Gigantopithecus was the largest primate that ever existed, reaching up to 10 feet tall and weighing over 1,100 pounds. Although this species is believed to have gone extinct about 300,000 years ago, some speculate that a remnant population, or a related species, could have survived in remote areas of North America and evolved to adapt to the forest environment, giving rise to what we now call Bigfoot. This hypothesis, although speculative, is used by some to explain the physical characteristics attributed to Bigfoot, such as its size, strength, and adaptation to rugged terrain. In addition to the biological aspect, the cultural impact of the Bigfoot phenomenon is undeniable. The creature has become an icon of popular culture, appearing in countless books, movies, TV shows, documentaries, and advertisements. This media presence has helped to keep the mystery alive and to inspire new generations of researchers and enthusiasts. However, it has also contributed to the proliferation of hoaxes, misinformation, and sensationalism, making it even harder to separate fact from fiction. Some critics argue that the commercialization of Bigfoot has turned a potentially serious scientific question into a circus-like spectacle, further marginalizing the subject within academia. And now, my favorite part, your opinion. After learning about the accounts, the evidence, the analyses, the controversies, and the cultural connections, what do you think? Is Bigfoot real or fake? Will new technologies finally give us a definitive answer, or will the mystery continue to fascinate and challenge us? And the indigenous legends, are they just myths and folklore, or memories of real encounters with a species still unknown to science? And if Bigfoot is real, how has it managed to remain hidden for so long? Is it just a species of primate yet to be classified, or something more, something that challenges our current understanding of biology and evolution? Share your theories and opinions in the comments. Remember to maintain respect and civility, as healthy debate is always welcome. Your participation is essential to building knowledge. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like the video, and share it with your curious friends. In the next episode, we'll unravel another intriguing mystery that will challenge your convictions. Until next time, and remember, the world is full of curiosities to be explored.